Mike Virtanen, Finland's favorite son. Fuck, I hit the wrong one. I guess I deserved it. Oh, man, I didn't load the fucking thing right. That's terrible. All right, here's what we're going to do in a scenario like this. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. I'm going to be like my German wife. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. Here we go.
Clean slate.
Clean slate. Mike Virtanen, Finland's favorite son. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Grease and Tommy C, a very special World Junior Helsinki 2016 tournament. The big news. Canada plays Finland in an absolute wild one, back and forth at one time. What? Canada led 3-0 right there, Mecca, right? 2-0. They made it 2-1 at the end of the first. I had to go shopping. I come back, it's 4-3. 4-3 going into the third period. They're not done. Canada ties it up, makes it 5-5, and then Finland scores towards the end. Makes it 6-5. The story in this game is one Jake Virtanen. Was it Jake? I even screwed up that entry now that I'm thinking about it. I'm just learning these guys. I'm an NHL guy, but I love international tournaments. Glad you guys could stick around and jump around in the chat and say hello. But how amazing is this? Look, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of excuse making by the media. I also heard some complaining on Twitter, like, well, the refs are calling everything. Steve Dangle, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't have anything bad to say about him. He's like, boys, they're calling everything. They've been calling everything all game. Jake Virtanen, towards the end of the third, takes a double minor. And I thought, they could take a double minor, a 4-minute penalty, a roughing, and a slash on the same play. And then who was the Canadian that fired one over the glass?
Hickey.
And Hickey fires one over the glass. That puts the knife in the Canadians. Finland takes a lead 6-5. And that's it. Game, set, match.
That was the turning point.
And Jake Virtanen's a Finnish descent.
Yep.
He's a Finnish Canadian. Isn't that funny?
If I understood, he may have even been born in Finland and kind of raised in Finland, but then he moved away.
I smell a conspiracy.
Oh, is he like a spy?
Yes. He's a spy. He's a Canadian spy. Sent by Pierre.
Just to give the other team power plays.
Oh, boy. All right, look. I don't respect reporters. That's no big secret to anybody. I don't buy this. This is the worst Canadian team ever. I think they just fucking blew it. But I can admit, I don't follow the juniors as much as I probably could or should. You're one of the guys that says you didn't think this team was going to get by Finland. You said it. You said it yesterday, or the day before. And tell me why that is, in your opinion. Like, what's wrong with Team Canada? Is it a talent issue? Is it a managerial issue? A little of both? Attitude? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all of that, and I'm not saying this to be a dick, and Finnish, they outplayed us in every way, and they deserve their win. But oftentimes the Canadian players, they'll make that jump to the NHL. You see people like Drouin, McKinnon, McDavid, we're lucky if they play with the World Juniors once.
Yeah, but you guys win an awful lot with that same scenario. And a lot of guys, and Finland, to a lesser extent, Sweden, the United States, they also deal with the same problems. If you take a team like Finland or Denmark or Slovakia, if they have one player on there, he ain't going to be there. And the NHL teams can release. The Rangers released Duclair last year to go play, and they ended up winning gold. Is that a valid excuse?
Well, last year, I was going to get to that. Last year was an exception because what happened is that most NHL teams would lend their players to the World Juniors. For some reason, that was the year where everyone lended the players. Lazar.
Yeah.
Duclair, all of these guys, they were all landed players.
Mm.
And also, what I've noticed is that ever since Chris Mason, who's the Flyers goalie?
Yeah, Mason.
Mason's.
Yeah,
So
Mason.
something Mason.
Yeah.
There was Carey
Uh-huh.
Price, then Mason, then Tokarski.
Uh-huh.
All of the other goalies for Team Canada were no names
Oh, really?
that I don't even think ever made the NHL.
Well,
So
this guy was named Blackmore, correct?
yeah,
What's the Blackmore?
yeah,
I don't know. I really didn't see a talent issue with this team, although I'm not the best person to judge. If I had to best, the Corsi numbers were in Canada's favor. I thought they controlled the puck better. I thought Finland at times, even though it was a wild one, played more conscientious defense. Of course, they had the home fan. Look, this stadium has been rocking no matter who's been playing. The Finns have really done a great job. It's nice to have it in a first-rate hockey tournament or hockey facility, a first-rate hockey country. It feels like watching an NHL game.
yeah.
I mean, that's going to help. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's psychologically that's huge. And then there's also sometimes pressure's better. I mean, Finland's playing in their home. Sometimes it can be a negative depending on the character of the locker room. Sometimes it can be a positive. I don't know if I buy that so much. You said something before offline about Tom Rennie, and you haven't really liked some of the decisions that he's made. I'd almost be willing to go that route. I think these guys, they blew it. Not because they sucked, because they didn't. Their heads weren't in the game. They kept taking penalties after they knew the ref was calling a pretty strict game. Is that talent or is that stupidity?
That's stupidity, and that's when you can see that these are young players and they're really, really immature.
Could be very well.
Because when you're already down on a 4-minute penalty, do whatever you can to not send that puck over the glass.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes mistakes can happen, but I saw Hickey in the penalty box, and he was smiling and laughing as if it was like a beer league game.
See, that lends to my theory. Stupidity, not taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You're damn right. You know, some of those Finnish kids are never going to get a sniff in the NHL. They're going to play in the KHL. They're going to play in the Finnish league. They're never going to get their dream.
Yeah.
And you're laughing. Is Hickey a guaranteed NHLer? You know,
He wasn't even drafted.
He wasn't drafted yet.
Which harkens back to my other theory about Tom Rennie, who I'm 80% sure he's the one who decides. He's the guy in charge, and who's deciding which players go on this team. Because I know you told me this may be a talent issue, but there's no right-handed defenseman on Team Canada.
Yeah, that's. I'm hearing stuff about they're having more and more trouble getting Canadian kids to play. It's tougher. It's more expensive. There's, of course, the whole concussion thing. It's tougher to get parents to commit to stuff like that. You got to get up early in the morning. I don't know about Canada, but you got to get up early in the morning.
Hearing something like that for me, it's crazy because at the Sochi Olympics, they wouldn't even play a guy like Subban because he was right-handed.
Yeah.
And they weren't willing to put him on the left side.
I don't know. See, I can't make that judgment. Do I know? We'd have to talk to somebody that knew something about the Canadian youth system to make that judgment. But that it could be talent, that the guy with the right hand just sucked that bad, or it could be an issue with Tom Rennie. Tom Rennie was a coach for the New York Rangers. I thought he was horrible. One of the worst coaches in my lifetime.
Well,
I don't think he made the play. I don't think he made the playoffs once.
Yeah, until last year, he was the GM of Edmonton, and we all know how
well they've done. Yeah. And I'm wondering if Edmonton and New York Rangers have always had sort of a close relationship. You know what I mean? They practically gave us a team to win the Stanley Cup in '94. I always thought Tom Rennie was a terrible coach. Awful. God awful. So it's tough for me to tell. I'm more of an NHL guy. I'm not. I love international hockey. I love it. Love it. It's good stuff.
But that being said, congrats to Finland.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem because I actually like Finnish players.
I like Finnish players too.
If this was Russia, I'd be furious. I hate Russia.
You guys got finished.
Oh.
You get that one, Pierre? Let's go over some of the other games real quick. Let's go over some of the other games. I watched Russia versus Denmark, and it was a hell of a game. The Danes actually led this game most of the time. Nashville's Predators prospect Ian. Help me if I get the names wrong. Provanov and Andrei Staletnikov scoring 5 in front of the net at 5 of extra time in regulation Kamenev tied the game with just 44 seconds left. In Denmark, they have to be heartbroken. But I don't know if they should put their heads down. They basically punished the Russians on turnovers. I got to be honest with you, good coaching, hard work can beat superior skill. Yes, the 1980 American Olympic team taking on Slava Fetisov and the Red Army team, basically the Soviet team. You can do it, and that's what the Danes were doing. And I actually thought for a second they might pull it off. I did notice, if you really want to go far back, and one of the things that Herb Brooks did with the 1980 Olympic team is he looked at Russia and he says, we can't beat them on anything, but we can always be conditioned as well. I noticed the Danish players were exhausted. Now, I don't know what look, a lot of these guys are not going to the pros. I don't know if Denmark has a rule where they can't work these kids like they can a pro athlete. I'm sure the United States, Finland, Sweden, they can really, I'm sure Russia almost probably has ownership over these guys. They can make these guys, but you have to be in first-class condition. I honestly believe if these guys were better conditioned and they were exhausted, that they could have beat this Russian team by a goal. And it's just, you saw it when they gave up the goal with 40 seconds to go, the Danes, and you just knew going in the overtime there was no luck. Because, look, the Russians looked like they were still in the hockey game. You look at the Danish in the bench, you look at the Danes on the ice, they're falling to their knees. They're breathing heavy on the bench. I'm not saying they're lazy. I don't know what the conditions are. I don't know what the rules are for guys that aren't pros or, is it under 23 World Junior Championship? I don't know what the rules are in Denmark. Each country's different. But I think if they want to compete because they don't have the skill level, if you can remember in the movie Miracle, they made those guys skate till they threw up. And that's what you're going to have to do with going on Team Russia. Most of these guys are either going to be pros or pros already. And that's the same thing with Finland and Sweden and the United States and Russia. That's how you have to do it. Bottom line, that's the way I felt about that game.
Like in a short tournament like this, a lot of it is also the matchups. There's a difference if early on in a tournament, if you face, I don't know, USA or Kazakhstan.
No, there's some truth in that. There is a lot.
Also,
yeah.
if I know Canada clobbered. I said Canada is not a really good team this year.
Mm-hmm.
They clobbered Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Sweden and USA clobbered Denmark. And if it's that tight with Russia, I think that's a testament of how weak the Russian team is this year.
So you don't think that the Danes won as much as they look sloppy in their own zone. Typical Russian team. They were really open. They controlled the puck well. A little sloppy in their own zone. No defenseman jumped out and impressed me. Typical Russian stuff. Definitely can be taken advantage of. And the next game, of course, the United States, 7-0 final against the Czech Republic. A little bit of a surprise of the pounding, but not much. I mean, this is a team that beat Canada, got beat by Sweden, who I think is the best team in the tournament right now. Clearly, Sweden is the best team in the tournament. And then absolutely put an ever-leaving beating on Switzerland and now the Czech Republic. That's great news. The only thing that bothers me about that, being American, is if you cruise too much. It's sometimes when you actually make somebody up to your level, it's a little tough to adjust. That being said, they lost the game to a very good team. Hopefully they can make an adjustment. I'm calling it right now. This is our year. I really do. Yeah. I think just the fact, I think it's going to be a Sweden-USA final. And I think what you're going to see is an epic match. I think the pounding of Switzerland shows that the United States is going to win this. They're going to punish them. I think it's going to be tough. They're certainly not going to be favored against Sweden, especially just judged by the way the Swedes have played in this tournament. But I think the United States is going to win this because they have the ability. And if you give them the opportunity, they're going to bury you. Calling it now.
Yeah.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. There you go. We're going to have some liberty and stick it straight up your ass. And Russia,
I think that Sweden, it's going to be between Sweden and U.S. I think Sweden's going to squeak.
It could be. I don't know. I don't see Sweden. I see an epic battle and an American miracle. That's what I'm calling. Epic battle, an American miracle. That's what I'm calling. I'm calling it right now.
I would have never guessed this because you remember who's the Ron Wilson, right? The coach for the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah. I I remember before the tournament started at the first game, he had an interview,
Mhm.
and his hair was all messy, and he looked tired, and he's like, "Well, I don't really know my team, and I just want them to have fun.
No,
We
we
might
want them to
lose, we
win.
might-"
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear
Exactly.
that. God, that makes me insane. You're fired. You're fired. Ugh.
I was like, "This team's unorganized. They're gonna get clobbered," but they surprised me.
718-395-7660. What we're going to talk about next is a little NHL, and John Scott is now officially a captain of the Olympic team. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I heard something said in our chat that kind of made me think a little bit, and I've changed my mind a little bit. And I want to hear you guys what you think of it. And here's the thing: stop. Do you have something better to do? I'm going to start yelling at you guys for not staring at the fucking camera.
I'm checking the chat.
It just looks awful when you're going to take your head down. You know what I mean? I'm gonna yell at Jake too. You microphones to your fucking face. Your microphone's fine. Don't touch it. Jesus Christ! I know it's like amateur hour over here, but come on, you can just pretend.
So Pure is saying Russia's the dirtiest team. I just wanted to say
probably.
mine's is Switzerland.
Yours is Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
right.
we don't have to worry about them anymore. Let's take Pure. This ought to be funny. All right. Pure Pustinen, you're on the line, buddy. What was your thoughts and prayers? And congratulations.
I love the NHL fans for voting John Scott to this shit of a game.
I do too, but probably not for the reasons. Why do you like that?
Because the NHL fucks up the All-Star game every fucking year.
That's
they
what I
just
thought
fucking
you'd say.
change it all the time. And they change the fucking game.
Yeah, well, you have a problem with the game change? Really?
Well, some of them.
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
fucking coach's challenge. Jesus fucking Christ.
well, the rule change, you mean? But you don't want the 3-on-3 overtime in the All-Star
I mean,
game?
right now I love 3-on-3, but right now I think it's ready for me. Take it or leave it. It's fucking bullshit if you have to change it all the fucking time.
Yeah, well, nothing works. They're hoping this might work. I don't know. It's like
What do you mean nothing works?
I'll tell you when nothing works. This All-Star game sucks. I've been watching it since.
Well, that doesn't work. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it doesn't work. So why not try something else? It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
but why don't we have a
something's wrong
fucking
when
draft?
the draft is more entertaining than
Yeah.
the
Oh,
actual
you're gonna miss. I'm gonna miss the draft too.
All right,
I
that's
don't.
actually right.
You know,
Yeah,
they could still do the draft. Actually, technically, if they wanted to. I don't know why they didn't do it. Just have us vote the guys in, and we get your captains, and then friggin' John Scott and everybody else gets together and picks the rest of the team, like like you do like when you play inline hockey in a tennis court. You just you pick the everybody throws, or have everybody throw their sticks in. That would be funny, and then whoever plays the stick out, we could do that. That's always fun.
Then it would be correct. It would be All-Stars of Pond Hockey.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that would be. Everybody throws their sticks in and pulls them out. Why not? Who cares? I heard the only.
Nobody cares. That's the thing.
That's the thing. But the only way I don't know if it even would work now because it's just a different game and these guys are worth too much money. But I heard it was the only time it was ever good, and this is way before I was born, was when the All-Star game used to be the Stanley Cup champion versus the NHL. That sounds.
That would be great.
That would be so awesome. But
That's epic.
These guys are not going to risk getting hurt, Pierre. They're just not going to do it.
By the way, there was rumors a couple of weeks ago about the KHL Gagarin Cup champ versus an Stanley Cup champion. Would that be amazing?
I'm all for that, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think the NHL's well. First of all, the NHL's going to want to make all the money. They don't really do well with the IOC and the IIHF. But would I be for that and have hockey look a little bit more like soccer in the sense where we see some international club tournaments or challenges or even friendlies would be cool. But it's just God, these guys it's not a part of hockey culture outside of Europe, and it's expensive. And I mean, really, are you going to allow Jamie Benn to get hurt? Even in the summertime, I don't know, man. World Cup's risky enough.
I don't think Jamie Benn gets hurt. He's a pretty big guy.
He's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast.
Badass.
Yeah. So I love the way you guys played with a lot of heart, and a big shout out to Finland in general. You guys have made every game in this tournament electric. You got to be super proud for the fans. I mean, you guys are just representing the shit out of international hockey.
Who was that player for Finland? Vernon?
Yeah, no, I thought he played for Canada.
What?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He doesn't even speak our language.
Well, so
dude.
what? I don't speak Gaelic. You know, he's a Finnish Canadian. You know, so
Well, in
what?
that kind of a way, but
Do you know? You know
I
how
don't
many
see him
Puerto
as a
Ricans
kid.
I grew up with that couldn't speak Spanish, and that's funny. You know. You don't even. Yeah, that's the thing about the. I'm glad you said that, because like whenever you come here, like I see like German Americans, like my name's Schneider, I'm German American, and all the Germans are like, are you kidding me? You know, except when they want
Or
something.
Schneider.
Except when Europeans want something from Americans, they're like, you're just like us. Look, you have the same skin color. Hey, good call, buddy. Keep up the good luck. Congratulations. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about before I let you go. We have mega. Not only do we have a mega semifinal, we have mega rivalries. The biggest
Yes, we
rivalry
do.
for
have
Sweden is Finland.
We have the Cold War and we have Finland versus Sweden.
It's just it doesn't get any better. When are those games being played, by the way?
I can check it out pretty quick.
Yeah, check that out real quick. I got to
Just
see this.
take the score. Just take the score. You can see your local team.
Let's take it. I'm actually just refreshing the page right now, and I'm going to check this out. See if I got it. Here we go. Here we go. It will be on the 4th, so that'd be 2 days from now, and it's going to be 1600 Greenwich Mean Time, which I can't figure out. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Finland, Sweden is 4 p.m. for us.
You're all right. You're an hour
States
ahead of me, right? You're an
and
hour.
United States and Russia will be 8 p.m. Definitely going to watch that one.
Oh, that's going to be
Both
bitchin'.
of them.
It's too bad they couldn't have the
Day
final.
of hockey.
They should have fucking figured out to do the final today, so everybody could watch it back home. That would have been better. And now it's going to be on a goddamn.
Hey, come on. Tomorrow is an amazing hockey night. There's Switzerland versus Belarus.
Stop it! Are you busting my balls? What did you vote for John Scott for the All-Star game? Jesus, you're totally trolling me.
Yes. Of course, I'm tired of the fucking NHL.
All right. Well, go back to your Liga then. I know you guys are more sophisticated than we are. Go to your
follow
Ligas.
Joe Crit.
Come on. We take the good changes. We took the 3-on-3, not the coach's challenge.
Yeah, well, Coach's Challenge is pretty stupid. I said I was uptight about that last year. I hope you guys remember that. I wasn't too hot on the Coach's Challenge. All right. I got to finish this broadcast sometimes. Pure, fantastic call, brother.
Thank
you. Congratulations to Finnish New Flash. If you want to follow Pure on Twitter, which I highly recommend, he's not just a friend of the show. He gets stories before a lot of people do. I don't know how he does it.
Finnish internet.
You know what it is? I think he stares at the internet constantly. I think he's just, but he gets stuff before. Puck Daddy, he gets
refreshing.
What's that? He's good.
Constantly refreshing the page.
He's constantly. That's what he does. He's just constantly. Nothing new. But if you want to follow him, I say this all the time. It's at PYRGER88. PYRGER88. He is the man with the master play. What is Tanga? Tanga, man, what do you got? Because I'm doing a big international hockey show here, and you're not even much of a hockey fan. What's your problem? I bet his shit doesn't work. I guarantee it. Well, I just armed the bomb. Tanga, man! Goodbye! This is what I don't get about kids nowadays. He's called what? How many times and had microphone problems? What is with your generation?
We're millennials.
Yeah, I know, but like I have the same setup when I go to broadcast. Every time. You're fucking around like you're like, is my microphone good when it's over here? How do I sound? No, the microphone's not in your mouth.
Well,
What happened? I just got it working, damn it. That's what he writes me. Tough titties. Call us after the John Scott thing. At 718-395-7660. Yes, your microphone has to work. If you can't figure out how to do Skype, call me. Skype is free, though. Put a little work in it. Put a little work into it. You get a free fucking phone call. You know what I mean? Yeah.
By the way, you did a vocabulary mistake. And you're telling Pure, and you said, keep up the good. You wanted to say, keep up the good work.
Yeah, what I said.
But instead, you said, keep up the good looks.
Did I really?
Yes.
I really got to stop drinking before I broadcast, huh? It's really awful. Do you see this video I made? This guy's epic. He's from HC.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
Longo. This is really funny, everybody. I'm going to play this for this. I'll fucking kill you. The funny thing is his name Lorenz Kinzel, or Kinzel, and he's got an Italian first name, and a German last name, which tells me he's Swiss, 100%. And he's yelling at another guy with an Italian name, and none of them are speaking Italian. They're yelling at each other in English. And that's the thing. It always happens. Like, I see these Arabs growing up when I was a kid. They get, like, cab drivers especially. You know, like, you tip me that much, I kill you. I kill your family. I kill you. That's what he sounds like to me. All the Europeans yell at. But he gets better. Fucking pussy.
Alles gehört und auch alles verstanden. Ist nicht alles wörtlich übersetzbar. Unter dem Stich kann man sagen, Kienzle wirft dem Gegner.
I just gotta tell you, you know what the Germans are saying? Well, they're not Germans, they're Swiss, but the Germans are saying, we're gonna have a difficult time translating what what Lorenz is saying. We can't really translate. He's calling him a lady boy. This is great.
Unter dem Stich kann man sagen, Kienzle wirft dem
You a lady?
Gegner vor, eine Schwalbe gemacht zu haben.
Are you a lady boy or what? I kill you, lady boy. You dive on me, I fucking kill you.
Lady boy.
Lady boy, you lady boy. I'm surprised he did that in the NHL. He'd get in trouble. You lady boy or what? Fucking funny. When he was, I think the other guy's name was what? His name was Chris Donamico, so he's probably Swiss too. They won't even yell at each other in German. They both speak German. They probably both speak Italian, and they yell at each other in English. I don't get
I
it.
thought the other guy was just silent.
And he doesn't even say pussy right. He goes woozy. Which maybe that's the Italian word for pussy. I don't know.
Wussy.
Woozy. Yeah.
Maybe he meant wussy.
Maybe he doesn't curse in English that much. You ever think of that?
Maybe.
Oh God. I know that makes fucking. I know that makes freaking Frenchie Ben loves shit talk.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
This one time I was in Montreal with my school, and they were sending cabs to bring us to the hotel.
Uh-huh.
And not to be racist or anything, but
That's all right. You're in a
shitting my
minority. You
pants.
can say what you want.
Oh yeah, it's true. And he's Arabic, so I'm allowed to make fun
Oh,
of him.
okay. There you go.
The taxi driver was Arabic,
Mm-hmm.
and I was scared shitless because he was talking on the phone, which by the way is illegal.
Uh-huh.
And he was just giving it to this guy. And
What
the
was he
whole
saying?
time he was screaming like, and I'm just scared shitless. And he hangs up and super casually he's like, so you guys like music?
It sounds like the cab drivers where I got hooking up. Would you like me to put on the pop radio station? All my accents sound German now. What do you want? What do you want, Tanga Man?
Hey, it should work now.
Yeah, all right. What do you got? Do you have something to add? I'm already arming the bomb. Go ahead.
Fuck you, man.
No,
That's
fuck
it.
you! Fuck you! You can't stop me! I got the bomb!
Yeah.
Nice to hear from you, Tanga Man. Fuck
If
you,
I
man.
weren't like on permanently right now, you would have exploded me long time ago.
I don't think so. You're fine. Not yet. You're
Well,
fucking- what
maybe
do you
not
mean?
today, but
This whole channel runs around you now. I can't fucking. You're like my gold mine, for Christ's sakes. What are you talking about? Yeah, you should be
I'm not a
kiss-
piece of meat.
I should be kissing your ass. You're not a piece of meat. Jesus Christ. Let's see what's going on in the thing. Pavel, I can't say these Finnish guys' names. And Lane to be 2 and 3 next year. And Matthews will be number 1. What do you think? I don't know enough. You'll have to leave this Finnish tuber. I don't know enough about juniors. I'm an NHL guy and a little bit of a DEL guy when they're on. Because I live in Germany. But it's just like I can't have it. Tommy C needs no provocation. Greg. Who said Greg? Man.
But I still don't think so because we've seen over the past years the GMs are kind of reluctant to go with don't you find to go with a European player?
What, the juniors are going? Well, probably because John Cherry, there's not enough guys from Ontario on the team. I don't know.
Yeah, but
They're fucking
also,
clubs.
like,
They should go with the best player. I mean, I don't buy all this
Exactly.
stuff that you go with the best player. I mean, look, if there's guys that are better in Finland, they're Canadian. And see, the thing is, I think Canada's starting to feel the pinch a little bit too, because it is a small country. Yes, it produces most of the hockey, has the best hockey training in the world, but you beat countries that are a lot bigger than you at your sport, and it's only because it's so much ingrained in it's so ingrained in your culture. there may be a time when that is not the case anymore, where you guys don't dominate. And I think that time, I'm talking 20 years.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the popularity and how the other countries do it. Honestly, if hockey was more popular outside of the 3Ms, Michigan, Massachusetts, and Minnesota, if it was New York, California, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, you guys wouldn't win shit. And it's just a numbers thing. If there was more states that were just hockey is crazy, if more states were hockey crazy as Dang it, man. I was going to congratulate the U.S. Not even one school shooting this year. Well, that would have got you blown up anyway.
But back to what you said.
Yeah.
I never even thought Canadians have the most talented players. I think
they
the
do.
Russians are crazy skilled, and I even think Americans are more skilled.
Yeah, no, I think the Russians
you can't take away that Canadian heart, though.
I don't know. It's like you guys have produced pretty skilled hockey players. Steve Yzerman, Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Orr. So I don't think skill's an issue. But I think as a Canadian young man is trained a little differently. They're trained for a more balanced game, and I don't think the Russians have that balance in the game. I think they look at aspects as the North American game, and they're very dismissive of it. They're not as extreme as like the Swedish and the Finns, where everybody has to be a defensive forward. But they're just very dismissive of the North American view, and I think that's why Canada wins. Because it's a little more diverse, a little more balanced.
I meant that like, sorry to interrupt you. I meant that like, Alexander Semin, if you just look at his skill, I think he has top 5 skill in the whole league.
No, that guy's a bad example for Russian because he's a stone asshole.
But
you know what I mean?
If you take Brendan Gallagher's heart and put it in him, he'd be a machine.
You got Wayne Gretzky. You know what I mean?
Gallagher, who by the way is my favorite player, I see him fumble the puck all the time. That he whiffs on it. He fans on it. He's not the most skilled guy.
Yeah.
But what happens is that he takes hit. By the way, he doesn't bitch about his hits like Sidney Crosby. He takes a hit. He goes to the net. He does all the little things. He plays a north-south game. Kind of what I'm used to seeing.
I think that's the key, though. I think the Russians view. I mean, these guys kind of invented early analytics for hockey. I think the Russians view the little things as imaginary and not important, as almost if they're some kind of myth like Bigfoot. This is just something that fans say that know nothing about the game. Guys that do the little things, the enforcer. They don't believe that has any impact on whether there's a win or a loss. And my example would be in I think it was in 76, his year of born, the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Soviet Union. They and a lot of people think that the Flyers went out swinging fists. No, they just checked them to the ground. They checked them to the ground, and they walked off the ice like a bunch of cowards they were. So I think Russia views the little things, the scrappiness, and there's even like highly skilled Canadian and American players that adopt that scrappiness to their skilled game. I think they're just totally dismissive of it, and I think that is the major reason they have not and may never, at least unless there's some kind of cultural change over there, ever won a gold medal since the wall fell. And that's a long time. What are we pushing? 25 years? I think it's 25 years this year.
Yeah. Well, with my personal experience and seeing players like Kovalov and whatever, I always thought the Russians, they viewed hockey as like an art form.
Yeah.
And the Canadians, they kind of viewed it as war.
Yeah. And that may be the difference. I think it is war.
Yeah. I don't think there's necessarily a good way or a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like Patrick Kane, I think he's kind of like he plays like a Russian kind of.
A little bit. Well, I think he's a little more of a team player than that, but that's
obviously.
And you know what? The thing is, like, I don't know. There's a lot of Russians that have been great team players over the years. I think Pavel Datsuk's a team guy. I think a little known guy named Sergei Nemchinov. I thought he was a great role player for the New York Rangers. One of the first Russians to get his name on the Stanley Cup. Sergei Zubov, I thought, was a team guy. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, he sure as fuck should be. I mean, really, the Dallas Stars, you could see their dip from playoff contention when Sergei Zubov retired. So I'm not trying to pigeonhole every Russian player. I think Yevgeny plays a team game. I do. Yeah. I think he's at the heart of I think he was the heart of a leader. But I'm thinking of Kovalchuk. I'm thinking of Radloff. I'm thinking of Semin. I'm thinking of guys with a lot of talent.
Something about that country. every player has crazy hands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but the finesse, their hands, it's like, it's almost like it's in their genetic DNA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they teach it more. Whereas, and I don't
Yeah.
think that's as important for a Canadian player. It's almost like if it works, it works. You know. All right. I think we covered everything. Let's go over last night's games again. Of course, Russia defeats Denmark in overtime 4-3. Real heartbreaker for the Danes. Sweden rolls over Slovakia. It was a little sad to watch. They come out with a solid effort. Their goalie is sick. What's his name? Soderstrom or Soderstrom? Swordstrom, yeah, or Soderstrom. I know I have trouble with these names. Hey, I'm not a pro. Here's another thing to point out in this particular game. Slovakia's goaltender Adam Huska, 50 saves, and that's a lot of saves, even if you get blown out like that. And it shows that he was playing well. I mean, 50 saves.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a lot. I mean, that's really something. It's too bad about that. It's really just kind of bad that Slovakia is never. I don't know. They just weren't better. I don't know. I'd like to see these games be a little closer with some of those other teams. But the good thing is, I noticed NHL history girl pointed out. Canada knows this now more than anybody. This tournament is not Denmark's a bye, and not every team is just like, all right, we're getting by them. It's not. It's the depth of hockey in Europe's getting deeper outside of traditional European markets, especially the Germanic-speaking countries, the Switzerlands, the Austrias, and I think that's good. That's healthy. That's good. That's good. Tag a man. What do you got?
Hey, I have a great joke. At least let me tell it. Okay?
Let me hear it.
I was speaking to an American guy on Skype, and he told me
Mm-hmm.
that it's called soccer, not football.
Okay,
I
soccer.
told him it's called a school, not a shooting range.
Get the fuck out of here.
Did I send you that soccer video?
Which one?
The one of the guy who grabbed the other guy's ass?
No. Well, I can't talk about it now. Send
Oh my
it to me
God.
later.
Okay,
You know
I'll
what
send
I
it
want to
later.
see? I haven't checked that video out where our buddy Evander Kane was being interviewed by Barstool Sports, and he's
Can
got
I
some
say that?
smoking hot chick with big boobies, and he says something like, "I'm going to be your breast friend." And this is
can I
what?
say the
Well, this
story?
was filmed like early in the month, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She comes in. It looks like she's wearing a not a tablecloth.
Mhm.
And she has the biggest cleavage in the world.
Boobies.
And just the biggest boobies jiggling about. And Evander Kane opens the door, and we see it right off. His eyes go down there. And the whole time, the whole interview, it's just him really struggling to not look down at her boobies. And he goes to introduce her to his friend, and he's like, "This is my breast friend." And I replayed it at least 5 times
to
I'm
make sure.
he
We got to
said
check that
breast.
out. We got to check that out Sunday.
And I go down in the comments, and Jake Link, he wrote something, and I guess it was racist. And
Yeah, of course.
everyone was getting mad at him.
Oh, really? He does that on
Yeah.
purpose. He's fucking correct. There's all these memes out there right now. It's like I even fucking Pure Run. Like he's like, okay, 2015's over. 2016 could be less of pussies.
Yeah.
Man, I got that guy in here. Does Tommy C's partner with Joe Cronin? No, I'm not with Joe Cronin. And I know you hate my guts. What's his name? The Antrix. Yeah, welcome back from jail. I hope you can sit down now. You've been back from jail. That's great. I hope that works out for you. If it doesn't work out, you can get a special pillow. But you know, like I am going to do a wrestling show, and if you don't like it, you don't like me. I don't know why you come in here. Want to bust my nuts? You're more than welcome to call in. I'm not partnered with Joe Cronin. I'm never going back to Joe Cronin. The guy was a total toolbox to me. He spit on my fucking battle buddy's face. Guy I was in the army with, went to Iraq with, and that's the fucking end of it. I don't know why you would like. I don't even know why you'd want me to fucking. I even tried talking about it, not talking about it for 2 months. You know, and now he watches it. The good thing about getting rid of us is he can go out and steal shit from Dave and get all their ideas from him. Yeah, and pretend like he invented internet streaming and talking about wrestling. Well, the new video game show, huh? Wonder where you got that idea from, huh? Yeah. So
He's from Boston.
Yeah, guys. Here's another thing. If you think he's a tough guy, I've stood in front of him. It's an act. Trust me. So, I mean,
Is it like when he goes on air, he takes a deep breath and like he sticks his chin out, and the minute he turns his camera off, like his belly just explodes, like.
no, it's more
expands.
like, I don't know, overcompensation for knowing that he's weak. Just I don't know. He doesn't. There's no thing in there.
Do you think I could beat him up?
He'd run away. I think he'd run away. Actually, he wouldn't get in the fight with. He'd bounce if he thought any minute they might look embarrassed. Look at that. Oh, good. I got prank phone calls. Maybe, hopefully,
Sweet.
mistake phone call. Oh shit. 314. You're on the air.
Hey man, love the show, guys.
Who's this?
I just wanted to say thanks for your service. When you guys, I wanted to let that know too, and I want to know what you guys think about St. Louis Blues this year, and if you think
I think they're
they
the
have
most.
a chance to go.
Well, it really all depends on. First of all, what's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
My name's Nate.
Nate. Where are you from, Nate? We'll call you Nate in.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, St. Louis. We have Jeff Huffman here. He's a big St. Louis. But first of all, the way I feel about the St. Louis Blues, they are the most exciting team in the NHL. They've had some of the more memorable games. They're a lot of fun to watch. But the issue with the St. Louis Blues is the issue for the St. Louis Blues every year. Will they collapse come playoff time? Do they have the goaltending to get by? Right now, I would say that shouldn't be an issue. Being 23-13-4, 50 points. Right behind a super hot Dallas Stars team, which I think they can compete with. It just, I've got no insight for you, bud. I don't know why this team collapses every year. And these guys have been good, since I was a kid. They always had Brett Hull, and the one year they had Wayne Gretzky and Mike Keenan coming off a Stanley Cup victory in New York. I don't know why this team can't put it into. And they have a tremendous fan base as well. I mean, St. Louis really supports the Blues. They always have ever since they got them in the 60s. I don't know. What are they saying out there, bud? I mean, what is the playoff issue with the Blues every year?
Yeah, well, you nailed it around the button, man. It's we lose a lot of fans every year, a little bit every year, because the fair weathers go away, and even the diehards are starting to drift a little bit, I'm seeing, but we still fill the house every night, the house that Hall built. And,
sure.
I think we got a chance. I think we get past that first round, and maybe the second round, I think we'll do we'll go all the way. But it's like we can't get past that first round.
I don't know what it is. There's very few, and the only reason I didn't pick them this year to do better or make the playoffs is it's just experience. Like, there's very few Blues teams that you can't look at. I'm talking like the last 5 to 7 years, okay? And say, these guys you could look at the paper and say, these guys are legitimate Stanley Cup, not even contenders, maybe even winners. But it just doesn't happen. They had a good start to the season last year, and I honestly thought Hitchcock lost control of them a little bit. I mean, and even Hitchcock said that nobody's executing a game plan.
I think that what makes the Stanley Cup so difficult to win is that everything needs to fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like all the circumstances need to be in your favor. It's not necessarily the team with the best player will win. And I know I kind of sound like a pussy when I say this, but I think a lot of it goes into the matchups, because the first round, every time they'd be against teams like Chicago or
That's true. No,
or
there is
Minnesota,
some bad luck there.
who I think are really strong teams.
But don't you think that a St. Louis Blues team would build itself to take up take up against the Chicago or something like that? How come they're not? Maybe this is an organizational issue. I mean,
I think that one of the huge holes on the team was in goals, though.
Yeah, they don't.
Because apparently right now, Jake Allen, he's ready to go a step further, but I've never seen anything in Brendan Elliott, to be honest.
So you
I
really?
think
Yeah, Allen's definitely the guy. Allen's definitely the guy.
How do you feel about him going forward? Allen being in net. Are you a little nervous come playoff time?
Yeah, because he gave up that weak goal in Minnesota last year.
Yeah, I know.
It seems like we always got that one weak goal that hurts us.
Yeah, and there's also
We put the goal in our own net,
as Jeff Huffman, who's also from St. Louis, points out, you guys ran into a ridiculously hot goal. I mean, he was playing godlike Dubnyk at that point.
Yep.
I mean, it is, and that's a matchup issue as well. And I mean, God, I wouldn't even say that was your fault. I mean, he just wasn't. He wasn't going. He was not. He decided he wasn't going to lose. I mean, he needed more firepower. But I don't have an answer for you. But I hope my answer was as honest as I can get. I don't understand why they haven't won a cup in my lifetime. There's so many good players and teams have come through there over the last 30 years. It's just, it boggles my mind.
It is mind-boggling. Let's just hope Oshie wasn't right when he said, with Hitchcock, it's information overload. Now look at Oshie in Washington. So,
well, maybe Oshie is right. That makes me think, because wasn't Hitchcock complaining that nobody was on the same page last year? Wouldn't that be a symptom of information overload?
Yeah.
Something to think about. You know what I mean? All right, bud.
But also,
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna say Oshie should kind of look in the mirror and blame himself, because he didn't do much in the playoffs either.
Fair enough.
And I thought when they traded, I didn't think they got a lot for him.
Mm-hmm.
But the player, Groy Bauer,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna help them a little bit. He's not gonna be the answer, but let's not forget they also have one of the best players in the National Hockey League, and Tarasenko.
No, that's true. You always got him. But can you build a team? Can you build a winner around? I think you got to put players around Tarasenko and not Tarasenko.
True.
I don't think he's going to be the leader in the future. Hey, listen, bud. I hope you call in again, man. Really good call.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Love the
Take
show,
care.
guys.
Like, sub, and share, baby. Get me rich. Take care. Make me rich. Make me famous. Make me YouTube famous. I'm the best. I do the best podcast. I do the best hockey. I'm going to do the best wrestling, too. Oh, she's on fire in Washington. Good point, Deb. Good point. This show's going a lot longer than I thought it would. If you want to get a call, we didn't get this to before. We didn't get to this before. But John Scott being named to the All-Star team. All right, I can tell you how I feel about it, and you can tell how you feel about it. I heard Frenchie Ben that he probably should. Definitely first-rate call, Pierre. I've heard a lot about John Scott turning over the captaincy, not going to the All-Star game. And because this whole thing was kind of started by Puck Daddy pushing John Scott to get in there as a big joke, maybe a revenge for the Sam Muskingum situation at Alafia last year. But I started thinking about it, and I don't want John Scott to turn this down, and hear me out. I don't want John Scott to turn this down, because there are players like him, players I grew up with, Stu Grimson, Ty Domi, Bob Provert. The list is endless of enforcers that help sell this game and do the dirty work and get the least amount of money. And in some cases, like Ty Domi in Winnipeg, he was the most popular guy there. These guys have helped sell the game, and this part of the game is probably going south for political reasons and maybe for hockey reasons too. I don't think you should keep a guy in the lineup that's going to hurt you. If the coaches know better than me, they want to. If they know better than me, if they think it's better to have a fourth liner with not that much skill but a lot of speed, maybe that's the way to go. But I think the way I see this, and I wonder if you guys like John Scott has lived by the code. He's only been suspended twice. Took him a long time to get suspended, and they over-suspended him the first time he had a suspension. I think it was a botched hit on Louis Anderson, no ill intent. He should have got 3 games, like Brad Marchand, who's a repeat offender. That being said, this might be an opportunity for the enforcers to say goodbye. And John Scott, who is a good guy, he's well-spoken, and he's a decent human being, and he believes in this stuff, and I believe in it too. I believe in a hockey code too. Maybe it's our opportunity to say not only goodbye to John Scott, but a bye to a part of the game that is probably going to be disappearing, maybe because of politics, but maybe like what you said in one of the first calls you made here, Matt, when you were on the team, that I don't know if fighting's going away, but you're going to have to be a little more like Jerome McGinley. You're going to have teams that take that role. They're going to be stick handlers and fighters and stuff like that. And there's probably not going to be as much fighting as a result. The role of the enforcer has died. Wouldn't this be a great tribute, a great way to say goodbye? I think a lot of people had to respect what George Faros did and the way he handled himself. And, John, he's not that skilled, but he's a real locker room guy. Everybody likes him. Do you think maybe this is a good way to say thank you to all the enforcers of the past that do really fulfill an important role in a in an 82 season grind? How do you feel about that?
I kind of disagree.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think that, yeah, as you said, I didn't even know John Scott was that that much of a gentleman, so to speak.
I think he is, in my opinion, but
Yeah, but this isn't really like the enforcer game. It's the All-Star game.
okay.
And what the fans are paying to see, they want to see the skills, they want to see the deeks, the dangles, the magic tricks, kind of. And I'm just thinking, John Scott. First of all, it's going to be extremely embarrassing for him, because he obviously doesn't have the same skill as, say,
Sure.
a Tarasenko.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be out of place, and I sat down and I imagined this. I was like, do you imagine how fun it's going to be to play this on the Sony, having a 3-on-3 tournament on the NHL video game?
Sure.
This is going to be awesome. And say I'm on a 3-on-1. Kane passes to Tarasenko, passes to Ovechkin, to John Scott. It's just weird.
See, I don't know if that's if I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said. If the idea is to see the skills and stuff, but I have never ever believed for a minute that skill solely sells this game. I think it's something that reporters believe. I think narrative, storylines, and people sell this game. And John Scott is one of those character people. I think more so than any bit of skill. I think efforts to widen the goal or make the goal, the scores higher, I don't think that makes a lick of difference. The RHI never took off. And high-scoring leagues are, I don't necessarily want to see a 9-10 game. I don't find that entertaining. I find a 2-1 game that was a goal score with a minute to go in the second and third period much more fascinating than I would find a game, even a game like Finland, Canada, which was kind of a shootout and there was a lot of mistakes and those good teams took advantage. I don't know necessarily that's good hockey. I don't know it's high scoring hockey. And we know, I don't think you disagree with this. Enforcers have had a role. They've gotten teams in the playoffs. They've served a function, an important function for years.
Yeah.
If that is not if it is the case that people there put their guys for skill, John Scott wouldn't have been voted in there. John Scott was voted in there for two reasons: A, to troll the NHL, and B, I think people like him. And I think people like what they do. And maybe this is an opportunity to take a troll job and turn it back on the fans and say, you know what? I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to play the role of the enforcer. I'm going to play the role of the enforcer. I'm going to show some pride in being enforcement. And this is just our way to say goodbye. That's the way I feel about that. I think you should take it.
I see it the same way as you, as in that these players are important and they're unsung heroes. My favorite player is Brendan Gallagher. He's never gets any recognition.
Sure.
But do you think that an All-Star game is the best way to pay tribute to them?
I don't care. It means nothing to me. Personally, this is just my opinion. I don't think the All-Star game's that good. I don't think it's been run that well. It hasn't been run that well since I was a kid. The scores are outrageous. They have perfect time to sell the game. They've never been able to sell the game like they have with the Winter Classic. They always screw it up.
Yeah.
Who cares? It was a joke last year for Zamis Gigensongs to be there. As good a fucking player, and he could be a legitimate All-Star one team. And I love the way he works. One of the best things about watching Buffalo Sabres hockey is watching Zamis Gigensong and just the type of leader that he is. I didn't mind that. It didn't bother me that much last year that he was there. And I just look at the people that say, well, he shouldn't have got this because of this. It's for the fans, man. And if it's for the fans, let John Scott be there. And let's talk after this is over about keeping John Scott and Zamis Gigensong's situation. But here's the thing. That means we got to take it away from the fans. So is this about the fans? Yeah. Let John Scott play. Is it about the players? And honestly, if the players pick the All-Star team, we'd probably have a better All-Star game. I'll be perfectly honest with you. The fans know what the fuck they're talking about half the time. But if it's for the fans, why can't the fans see who they want to see? Why not?
True.
The only scenario I don't want to see is if John Scott gets laughed at. I don't want to see him get laughed at. I just want him to go in there, hold his head up. Yeah, I'm an enforcer. That's what I do. I'm the best enforcer in the NHL. That's why I'm here. That'd be an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, I think that with this new format, I think everything's going to change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe.
It might be the most exciting All-Star game.
It also could be a terrible flop that's 30-32.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. It could be really ridiculous.
The players didn't care. They wanted to be on vacation. They came here because they had to. And you could see that the way they were playing, it was just completely boring.
Yeah.
It was like watching a New Jersey Devils game, but with goals. Nothing was happening.
Well, not that bad this year.
Yeah.
That bad. The year they went to the Cup final, they had Zach Ronaldo. and all those wonderful people. And that stuff. Hey, everybody, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure you check out Shot from the Point Live, the most badass broadcast, hockey. It's not even hockey anymore. We do a podcast with the Shot from the Point team and talk about pop culture, things that are going on in the news. And, well, if you could think of a stupid topic and you want us to cover, make sure you check me out on Twitter. Yeah, any topic that you want me to talk about or something like that, I'm not going to promise you, but I will take into consideration at TommyCF at SFTP on Twitter. You can also leave a message 718-395-7660, 718-395-7660, or Shot from the Point on Skype. Leave a message. Tell me what you want us to talk about online. It's an open topic, whatever you think would be the most entertainment. Shot from the Point Hockey on Facebook and Google+. Hey, Google+, you plus me, I'll plus you back. And make sure you like, sub, share, get the word out for In the Crease at Tommy C. The Monday through Thursday hockey show starting at 9:30. That's my time. Sorry, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're just doing a special today because of some of the great hockey that was played all over the place. There's a lot of games going on in the NHL tonight. Let me see if I can get them up there. Let's see what's going on. Arizona's in the first period with the Edmonton Oilers. No score out in Los Angeles. Philadelphia is in Los Angeles. There's a final in Buffalo. Detroit overcomes Buffalo 4-3. You know, I got to be honest with you. Buffalo does play hard, but they're a few pieces away from the playoffs. I'll be perfectly honest with you there. Matt. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. St. Louis is in Toronto. That should be a win. Minnesota North Stars. That's right. I said North Stars. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Steve Stamkos in the Tampa Bay Lightning. New York Rangers are in Florida. Not going to be an easy game, New York Rangers. Not going to be an easy game. They're fighting with Montreal. They're fighting with Boston. The Cats are for real. What they're doing isn't amazing. And I think there's even more games than this, if I'm not mistaken. Also, New Jersey is in. Let's see if I get the whole thing. That's not even all the games. That's friggin' amazing.
Yeah, almost everyone's playing.
Almost everybody's playing. New Jersey. Dallas is in New Jersey. That actually might not be too bad to watch either. I want to see all the games. Come on, baby. Show it to me, NHL. This is one lousy sight. Let's go. New York Islanders are in Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. Nashville and Carolina. Washington in Columbus. Calgary in Colorado. Please get a win, Calgary, for me. I hate Ryan Lampert so much. And the struggling Winnipeg Jets. Boy, they're playing awful. It's starting to be over for them. They're in San Jose. Take on the Sharks. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the late night game. That's right, bitches. Game's going on now. Game's going on. What a hell of a hockey day we had with the World Juniors. Congratulations to Finland, United States, and Russia, Sweden. We will see you very, very soon. Rivalry night coming up. That would be Monday. Monday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Monday.
Sure.
Monday. It's super. It's Cold War versus the Scandinavian Wars tonight. Here we go. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Show me your war face. Get out of my crease.